Hi, my name is Hanna Brown. About 7 years ago, we discovered that 4 of our children had been severely harmed and molested by a trusted family member. This was devastating for our family. One of our children, Timothy, was severely impacted. He had been harmed at the ages of 2 and 3. It is easy to shatter a small child at those ages. What I mean by shattering is that his soul became fractured through trauma. He had amnesic pockets of memory separated from emotions, and he had pockets of places where there was anger that he could not understand where the anger was coming from because he did not have the pictures to go with the anger. When a soul is horribly assaulted with trauma at a young age, there's a protective mechanism that goes into effect that causes the soul to break into pieces to preserve the very core of that individual, to keep them from being so overwhelmed by the trauma that they can die from shock. It enables a small child to go on in life. While this works for a while, it eventually breaks down later in life, or through stimuli that I call triggers, reminders of the actual events that cause the shattering in their life. Triggers can be small things. It can be a smell. It can be a color. It can be something associated with the events that seem innocent to outside observers. But to the child that's been shattered, it is a reminder in their senses of the injury and the harm that they have suffered. Our son Timothy became shattered. Another term for it is dissociated identity disorder. He began to lose blocks of time. He regressed in his schooling. Basically, his schooling pretty much shut down. He went backwards probably about 2 years in his schooling. He would lose whole chunks of time when trying to study. At first, when we took him to counselors for help with the abuse, play therapy was put in effect. And while that helped to a certain level, it did not get at the root of his injury or relieve the trauma. He still began to have outbursts of anger that did not fit the circumstances he was presently in. He had obsessive fears. One counselor we went to tried to medicate him, wanted us to put him on a cocktail of treatments to help him focus and to help him with his fear issues. They tried to diagnose our son with obsessive compulsive disorder. We knew that there was much more to his injury than that, and that this was not what we were dealing with. So I began to seek other resources as I realized there was a limit to the professional help that we had in our area, a limit to what they knew and what they could do. I began to study more about DID and work with our son at home. I realized there was a great benefit in doing what is called a form of inner healing, where you invite the Lord into the trauma to speak to the traumatic events. There was also pockets of memory that we had a hard time getting into because my son had so shattered. We would try a variety of things to help him, and he found a certain measure of relief in those things that we did. However, there were components of torment that come into play through sexual abuse from the demonic. Some of those things were hard for us to deal with. Also, we found that there was a place in my son's soul that did not trust us at all because we had been the ones, as his parents, to leave him with a trusted family member. So we came to a place in his recovery that we became stuck, basically, because this place in him couldn't trust us. It was very difficult. I found one counselor that would work with us, but it was a 6-hour drive for our 1 or 2 hour sessions, and it became very draining. He could work to a certain place with our son with the processing of memories and help release some of the amnesic pockets that he had. But he did not deal with the demonic aspects, and we did not see the inner healing at the level that our son was needing. Then we did more research, more crying out to God, more searching for better help. And that is where I came across the Center for Christian Counseling and Training and Dr. Roger Bowen. It began with me finding his book in the face of evil. I read his book and realized this is someone who knows how to help. This is someone who has put all the pieces for healing together, and the Lord has given him a method and a toolkit that is very effective. And so we sought him and took a 13-hour drive down to the center for an intensive weekend for our son. The change was drastic in our son. Within a short period of time, his outbursts of anger began to drastically diminish. His fear began to subside, and we began to see our son return to joy and have the ability to address his schooling better. He has now progressed remarkably, and thankfully, he may actually graduate within the next year or two. So we are very hopeful. We're very happy to see the recovery that has come about. He no longer has the obsessive fears, and he is able to trust again. We see him laugh and enjoy his family now, and he can be around other children and not be so easily triggered or angered or irritated. We're still within the journey, but the progress has been remarkable. There is a great vacuum out there for the need of counselors who can work with traumatized individuals, whether they're adults or children, and those that have shattering through trauma. Very few compile both the deliverance aspects that are needed to break off torment from a person's soul and the inner healing where you invite Jesus into the situation to speak truth and comfort, as well as building trust with the shattered places inside a person. All of these must be combined together to bring healing before that heart that has been shattered can be bound up. The Lord came to bind up the brokenhearted. This is how the Lord works, and this is how we've seen the most healing in our son. We are so thankful for Roger's ministry. We were at a place of roadblock, really, and didn't know how to go beyond where we were with our son. It is a great gift to us to be able to Skype, to be able to go and even make the costly trip it takes to go down and see Roger. It is worth it to us. There is such a huge need for more of this ministry in other places because there are many families out there and many children out there who have been injured and are hurting. Children take on various forms. Sometimes they're locked inside adult bodies because help was not available when they were younger. And sometimes help is found, like it was for our family, in people like Roger, so that our children can heal and not spend years of their life with torment and injury. If you would be interested in hearing more about our miraculous journey that our family has made and the amazing things we've seen God do in the healing of our children, you are welcome to check out my book. It is called Out of the Ashes, and it is available on CBD or Amazon or at Winepress. God bless you for supporting this center. It has made a huge difference in our family's life. It will make a huge difference in many other families as well. Satan is out to destroy children, but I am so thankful there are people who God has put a passion and a desire to be true restorers for those that are broken. Actually, isn't that the call He's put on all of us? God bless you for your support.